one of Pittsburgh's pioneer TV broadcasters. During television's golden age, Ricki Wertz sang and danced her way into the hearts of thousands of Western Pennsylvanians. In the 1950s and 60s, she hosted and starred in dozens of TV commercials and programs, including Ricki and Copper and Junior High Quiz.
Good evening. I'm Ricki Wertz, and tonight we go back to earlier days in Pittsburgh television, back when KDKA and WTAE had slightly different logos.
Ricki spent more than 40 years in TV, not just as an on-air talent, but also behind the scenes, creating groundbreaking documentaries like The Chemical People, which explored the ever-growing problem of drug and alcohol abuse among teenagers.
This is one of our prize specimens. We lost one limb from the snow and ice, but it's called a Cyadopodus.
But these days, Ricki's life is far away from the world of cameras and hard-hitting documentaries. A few years ago, she retired from WQED, and now she spends most of her time with husband Tom Borden, another veteran of golden era TV. The Sealy Time Weather Girl? How did you get into that?
Remember that?
No, but I read a lot.
Lingerie and be the sexy Sealy weather girl by night.
I became the Sealy Time girl, and I just sang the weather, and I'd sing whether it was stormy weather or the snow outside. I'd sing about tulips in the springtime, and I had a review once that said, Ricki Wertz shows shocking indifference to the temperature in Butte, Montana, and I did.
What did you sing? Can you give me an example?
Well, there'll be a change in the weather and a change in the sea. And then I would do, oh, the weather outside is frightful. I could have sung that 25 times in 1 month this past January. And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
But it wasn't long before Ricki, the Sealy Weather Girl, was hosting an entirely different kind of program.
Hi, how are you today?
It was a great time to be in television. And then I was doing that in the 11 o'clock news, and I started Ricki and Copper. So I was two different people. I was for Daddy and Mommy at night, and then I was for the kids in the morning with my dog.
I'm sorry, Copper, but he does have prettier hair than you. Copper gets...
Ricki and Copper led Children Over the Bridge for 9 years, during which time Ricki interviewed some 14,000 children.
Yeah. And boy, you look so sharp with your sport coat and all. Tell everybody your name. Patrick O'Donnell. Are you Irish? Boy, I never would have guessed it, old Patrick O'Donnell. And how old are you?
In the 1970s, Ricki moved from children's programming to programming for older kids. She and director husband Tom Borden put together one of the longest-running programs ever on local TV, Junior High Quiz.
We signed it on as a public service show, and the first show we did, Pittsburgh National Bank called up and said, we want to underwrite it. And I suddenly became underwritten for 17 years with the bank. It was the most wonderful, and you talk about being blessed.
And Ricki does feel blessed in so many ways. Blessed to have had so many fruitful years in television, and blessed to have been able to create documentaries like The Chemical People, which grew out of her graduate thesis paper, and which resulted in the formation of dozens of special task forces. Did you ever know that so many individuals could meet, come up with those task forces, all with different ideas of how to deal with the problem of adolescent teen drug abuse, and then when the First Lady got involved with it, it exploded and went nationwide?
Well, that's because people are altruistic. They will work on something when given the specific task within their time frame and their ability to do it. They will. They want to They get great satisfaction from it. But our society doesn't encourage that. And that's where the television was so wonderful. And that was public television. That's where it belonged. And so we began outreach in public television. And it was wonderful.
Exciting times. Times all shared with her husband, Tom, and their 2 children, Kristen and Thomas Glenn. How did this thing with Tom come about? You must have been attractive to a whole lot of people out there.
I kind of didn't really do anything with him until one Easter I could never go home. I had to stay here at school and stuff. I was still in school. And he picked me up to take me to a party, and when he brought me home, he kissed me, and I went up to my roommate and said, "I met the man I'm going to marry."
What about that first
I made a
kiss?
great impact. Yeah, I really did. I didn't realize I was that good, you know. But anyway, I had to, you know, get her permission from her mother because, like, she was 19 years old, which I tended to forget because she was very mature for her age. She was very talented, and she and Shirley Jones, I always felt she was much better than Shirley, even though I'm a little prejudiced.
The actress Shirley Jones?
Yes.
Okay.
But they roomed together at the Playhouse. Mm-hmm. So I got to know Shirley, and but I just felt that Rick had a lot more on the ball, but I didn't want her to leave town at that point.
If she had gone to New York, she could have been the Ricki Wertz?
Yeah. Not for Pittsburgh.
But you held her back here, huh? You selfish rascal.
Oh, yeah, I destroyed her. I destroyed her. No, it was wonderful. Huh.
To this day, though, neither Ricki or Tom have regrets about their marriage. Soon, they'll celebrate their 50th wedding anniversary.
When I retired, Tom said, "What are we going to do now?" Because he suddenly had me home. And he was home 5 years without me home. I said, "We're going to take oil painting lessons. I've always wanted to do oil painting, and you're going to come with me." So I dragged him. He said, "Okay, I'll give you 4 lessons, and that's it." He was hooked after the second lesson. He loves, like you, airplanes, and he just does all the airplanes from his past. I like to do animals and some landscapes, and I've just started portraits. So we have a great joy painting together.
Evergreen you think would be more prickly.
Prickly, yes.
And it's not.
And it's just like sand.
During the warm days of spring and summer, you'll also find the couple in the garden of their home in North Huntington, Westmoreland County. That's your property all the way down past the tree line.
Right.
Looks like you got places to sit all along here, too.
Gotta have a sit-up-on.
A sit-up-on, is that what you call it?
My wife has to have a sit-up-on in every location.
Well, if I'm going to work,
at every level,
I have to rest. And I want to rest where I'm at so I can say, "Oh, look how beautiful it looks after we did all that weeding and cutting. Look at that pretty flower." So I sit upon whatever is there and I rest. And it works.
we have sit-up-on 1, sit-up-on 2, sit-up-on 3, sit-up-on 4, sit-up-on 5.
And as summer approaches, Ricki and Tom prepare for another growing season. Planting, they say, makes them happy.
I'm not letting a day pass that I don't enjoy every minute of every day, because I may not get another one. And you begin to realize that. You're at that point in your life. So don't put off tomorrow what you would like to do today. Do it. Have fun. Laugh. Embrace people. You give good hugs. I always liked your hugs. And hug, because energy flows to each other and you build people. Give me a hug. He does hug good. You're wonderful.